you guys. Lessons 1 through 3 are on instructions. Friday we start new, but this will be on your assessment. Now, girls, there's been some concern expressed about the Marzano grading, and if you have the concept in the problem and it's a tiny error, you will get the point. Okay, so there will be some. I want to let you know there will be some flexibility with it, so it's not going to be as rigid as it sounds. So if you're worried about that, let's just see what happens. Okay, not to worry. So tomorrow we're going to do lesson 4, and we're not going to be doing constructions. So you really, if you don't have your own compass, and since I don't have any left, which means most of you don't, you got to get this done in class. Okay? We are going to go back into this one, and I need to teach that construction. Why is that not? Okay. This is a tricky one, and I may have to do this twice for us to get it. Even for me, it's hard. And the reason it's hard is because this angle, I don't care which one it is, one of these is backwards. This is the last thing I haven't done. There's the clone button. Oh, there it is. Okay. If you try to put these two angles together, I'm going to clone that as well. You can't. Okay, PJ, if you don't pay attention, this is going to be hard. Look at how the two angles. You can't make a triangle out of that. So what you have to do is, and I'll be consistent with the other class, is you kind of have to flip one of these over. Then you can see how I can make a triangle out of it. This is in your yesterday's notes. We didn't finish. Okay, you see that? The way it was before, I couldn't create the triangle. That's not the correct triangle, because I need a length of AB to be equal to that. Now, I did also grade yesterday's quizzes for the other class. I haven't done yours. They don't take long to grade because mostly they're not right. So that's a problem. You got to have your tick marks. You have to show what you're doing. And if you don't have it, you don't get the point. And that's the way it's going to be on the big summative assessment. So that's the problem with this one. That angle here is backwards. So when I copy it, that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to get rid of that. I don't think I want it. And you need to go through it with me. And if I go through too fast, you need to tell me to slow down. The sound on this is not, I think it's okay, but people have told me it's still a little soft. I will talk to the tech team about that and see if I can get the sound a little bit louder. And I don't think it's anything I'm doing. It's a tech problem here. So I'm going to move these down here so I can actually work with them. Now, what you're given here are two angles and a side. And it's really angle, side, angle. I'm going to start with the side. So my plan is I'm going to copy AB. And also on your quiz, I had a problem trying to figure out what you did because you didn't label anything. So all of a sudden I see tick marks, but I see nothing. I don't even know what the final answer is. So you need to label things, and you get lost. Okay, so what we're going to do is copy AB, and we're going to label it. And then we have to put angle A in or angle B. Let's do angle A because it's easier. So then we're going to copy angle A in their correct place. This is the plan. So I'm going to copy that over here. I'll change colors. So angle A is going to look like this. That's going to be array. That's going to be a finite segment. That's going to go forever. And now, since this is going to go forever, I need to get angle B in there. But the problem with angle B is it's not, it needs to be flipped over. And that's where it gets tricky. And I've done this several times, and I still get stuck on it a little bit. So angle B, I can't put it the way it is. I'm going to have to flip it, so it's going to look like that. There it is. And then I'm going to copy that angle over here. And that will get me my triangle. No, these are raised. I don't care how long they are. So that's confusing. So the first two steps are easy. It's the third step. So please, if you're not ready for the third step when I'm ready, you need to stop me. So I'm going to go ahead first and copy AB. So what I'm going to do is mark. I don't want to put A at the end. I'm going to put A here. There are going to be a lot of extra lines. So I'm going to go move this guy over here. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to give those out. Yes, you will need a straight edge. And then I have to move this over here, and I'll help you with that in a second. Okay. Yeah, but I got to get everybody with me. Well, I was going to stop that, but I can't get it to come up. You can use your iPad. You can use your calculator. And unfortunately, the calculators that were on sale at Amazon are no longer on sale. I will keep my eyes open and let you know. Those TI-84 calculators are color. Yes, they're very nice, I've heard. Please do not take my compasses. You have to explain what you mean. Oh, then you can use some tape. That works for me. Otherwise, you have to share. That's all I got. Everybody has a ruler now. Okay, so we don't need the iPads open, so those should be closed. Because if you are looking on your iPad, you're not doing what we're doing. I know, we're going to review it. Copying segments should be easy. Especially when this angle is backwards. Okay. I'm going to first copy my segment. And so now I'm going to put this on A, and then I'm going to clearly mark where B is. Because I'm going to get a lot of other marks, and I need to know I want AB. Not only that, feel free to use my highlighters. I'm going to highlight AB. There, that's part of my triangle. Now, copying the first angle isn't that bad. We're going to change colors. So I'm going to do blue. And you take any compass setting you would like. Put your point on A. I can make that bigger or smaller. If I make it too small, the problem is I can't manipulate it very well. It's hard physically. So make it bigger. Okay, you guys ready? So you put your compass point on A, and we have to make an arc here. And then we're going to measure that opening. So I'm going to make this arc. I want the same arc down here. Yes, I think copying the angle is the problem. Now, I kept the same opening as AB, but it doesn't have to be. You want me to change it? I'm just going to leave it right now. So my B now is turned from red to blue. And now I have to measure this opening, because this opening here will be the same. So if I have a big enough arc, I don't think I did. Now here's where I have to do a lot of manipulating. I'm going to put my compass point either at, in fact, let's give it a name. Let's call this point X and this point Y. So I'm going to put an X and a Y here. Here, this is obviously Y. Either put the compass point on X or Y, I don't care. I'm going to put it on X. I'm using the compass to measure the width of that angle at that point. Okay, do you see what I'm going to do? I'm going to measure this opening on that arc. It's the same because it's in the same relative placement. And if we did the theory first, this would make more sense. It's the only place I can put my compass points, either at X or Y. So I put it on X, but it's the same thing. And you make a mark. And I need to see those marks. Because some of you are going to get your little quizzes back and say, didn't do that. And you can make corrections. I'll give them back to you tomorrow, and you can take them and make corrections and turn them in. What I would have you do is probably just take a whole new piece of paper and redo it. this width here has to be the same width there. So where am I going to put my point on my diagram? All I did was copy AB, and then I left it. I just happened to, by accident, left. I'm going to go back to this length. I just left it there. I could have chain stitched when I did this, but that was copying AB. Okay, so that was this. And I make the entire arc here. And then I just happened to leave it the same as AB. It didn't have to. Could change it. And then I came up here and I made an arc here. The same arc. Oops. Am I off a little bit? I don't want to be. I actually can check mine. I think I'm off just a tad, but that's okay. And then you have to measure this. Now this time I'll do it a little differently. I'm going to put the point on Y. So guess what? I'm going to flip that over. And it goes so fast that sometimes you can't see it. And then I have to close my compass a little bit. And I'm going to make that one. Now I was in green. And so I'm going to find where X is. Sometimes it does that, but I know I'm in the right place. Sometimes mine doesn't show. I don't know why, but it doesn't. I am holding it. No. If I go down here, I bet it works. See? I'm not holding the pen. I don't know why. The second time it's happened to me today. There. This length here from X to Y is the same length there. Well, guess what? I now have X. So I can draw ray AX, which is why we want to communicate these things.
How do you get that X?
I set a compass opening and did this. I labeled that Y and labeled that X. New points. I had the angle like this, and I did my compass like that. Any opening, doesn't matter.
Yeah, but then like how?
I just called that X. I can call it whatever I want. I made it up.
I'm so confused how you like got that X there, which I measured the opening, but what do you do after?
I just called that point X. I could call it Z.
But how did you know where that was?
Because they intersect.
So yeah, I get that. But
You have this point here, and then you measure here. I just measure. I just called that X. Move it down here.
oh, so
No, it's only gives us an angle on the sides.
keep the compass like put it on the.
You got to keep the same compass setting.
Put it on the intersection and then just.
Yep.
On it.
It's always the intersection points. Now that's the easy part. Now I need to get angle B, but the way angle B is, and I'm going to change. No, I'm not. I'm going to change the color of this guy. What color? Let's make it purple. Now, if I try to put this down here at B, that's not the right angle, the correct angle. I don't want to use right because it's not a right angle. It doesn't make sense. So what I have to do, whoops, I'll just get that out of there. I'm try and grab the purple one. Purple one. There. What I have to do, I'm going to do this right now to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip it left, right, and now B goes here. I need the angle opening that way. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm going to clone this. The angle is not, now I'm going to flip it back where it was. The angle is not oriented correctly. That's what makes this tough. There. See, that's what I really have. I don't have this one. Whoops, don't do that. Sometimes I have to get the mouse to do this. There. I hate that. Okay, I'm going to grab it with my mouse because I can grab it better. Oh, I got this little guy out of there too. Not that one. This is why you should lock things. It doesn't matter where I put that line. Okay. It's still being difficult for me. Now, I suppose you could trace it and then copy it that way. It's easier to copy this one. We're not. We're going to copy the original one. Okay, are you ready? Because now in my head, I have to flip this. And if I have to do it twice, I'll do it twice, because I did in the other class. Okay, we have to copy this angle. I'm going to flip this, I don't like that. Okay, where's the only place to put your compass point? On B. And let's do green. Okay, so I'm going to make this little arc. Yeah, but it's going to be wrong. I have to think of the reflection to this. Oh, there. I'll make a complete circle. Let's see if that helps. Because now where am I going to put this? I'm going to put this on B. Because that's my vertex. But the problem is, I don't want the ray going off. I'll do this with a back button. I don't want it going that way, because that would be this angle. I don't want that. I want it to go this way. That's my goal. Okay, so we are going to measure the width of this. And this is where I have to slow down. And this is where it gets tough. Okay, not quite right. There. There's my compass opening. But now I have to actually, what I have to do is not start at B. I have to start over, let's see what you think. I want to start at this point, which is not this one, but it's the other side. It's the reflection. I don't want this one. I want it flipped over. So this point here, call it Z, on my figure is not this point right there. It's this point over here. That's Z, because you reflected it. That's what makes this hard. So now I'm going to put my compass point on Z, and hopefully it's going to work. And I know it's hard. Because see, shh, guys, this point is not over to the right of B. I have to flip this over. And if I made a copy of this and flipped it, Z would appear over here. So let me look at my copy down here. That's where Z is. Here's B, and there's Z. So guess what? You have to go to the other side. We can do it again. It's not easy. Where's my compass? So you have to put the point there. Easier paper pencil than is for me. And now I'm going to make my little circle. Looks like it's almost the same circle, but it's not. And guess where the green and the blue one intersect? Right here. And where's B? There's B. And we're going to find out how good this is. And now I'm going to draw that line. And we can do it again. Now, let's take this. Whoops, forgot to do that. I know, you guess, because you're talking. Shh, guys, let's see if this works. Oh, hang on. Group. Well, we'll do it again, but it's this right here. I'm off a little bit. I'm just copying angle B, but the problem is I can't do angle B as drawn. It's the reflection. So here's the angle. We'll do it again. Can't hear. That's the same circle I have here. But to get this point on my new drawing, it's on the other side. It's not that one. It's the wrong angle then. That's why it's hard. There's a lot of blue ones. So what we're going to do is let's do this again. Yeah, we're going to do it again. So I'm going to close this out, not save it. And now I'm going to bring it back up again because I can. I found out that was the easiest way to do it. Uh-oh, I'm in the wrong place. Hang on. I know, it's hard. I'm not going to tell you it's easy because it's not easy. Okay. The first side and the first angle, those are okay. It's the other one. There it is. But, okay, yeah. If you're not talking, it's a lot easier. When you guys, I'm going to, before I do anything, I'm going to group these guys. And I can grab it easier. I'm going to group these. Well, maybe it is one piece. Okay. Okay, guys, if you pay attention, I'm going to take this angle here. Here's the problem. Okay, guys? Can I take this angle here? Is that the angle I want? No. It isn't. I'm going to clone this. I'll put that away. I don't want that one. I want the flipped one. That's what makes it hard. Now, if I have the right segment, you can't flip it easily. That's why I'm saying we have to talk about a reflection here. Now it's going to work. It's right. Yeah, let's do this first, okay? I thought I grouped these. We're doing the same one again. Okay, I'm going to try again to group that. Yes, yes. I don't know. Looks like it's probably right. Well, this one's easier. Is that the same as I have here?
No, because they're all acute. That's not true.
Yeah. Where is this one?
This one's on the notebook from lesson 3.
It's a different one. Yeah, if it's acute, it's easier. Okay, let's try this again. Let's make AB. This should not be the issue. Because then you have to tell me if it is. Whoops. If I'm in the way of the light, I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. Okay, I'm off a little bit, but I don't care. Okay. And if you label things, it's easier. There is my base segment. Is that okay now? Yes. Now, let's copy angle A. I don't think we're going to have, this may be an R4. I don't know. I haven't looked ahead at the assessment to know what it looks like. Now, I'm going to take a different opening here. I have the same as AB, but I don't want it. I want it different. So let's make it bigger. And let's change it to green. Okay? What I'm going to do, basically, guys, is create a triangle where this side is and these sides are equal down here. That's what's happening. You don't have the theory. Okay? There's a different one. And if yours isn't obtuse on this sheet, then I can see why you're confused. Because somebody changed it on me. Okay. I need this opening, so guess what? I'm just going to measure it. Now, if you want me to name them, I can. I call them X and Y. Yes, we're trying this again. I don't know if we have to worry too much about it. But there it is. I want that opening. And now, if I put my point on this green one here, which has got to be matched in the same one, that's wrong. I have to flip it over. And now I can do that. We should be able to get a side and an angle. Yes. Angle B is oriented wrong. Let's label it. Let's do angle B in blue. That's the tough part. What I want is angle B to, now guys, look at this. Don't look down, look at this. This has got to do this and this. Not what this is. It's the reflection of that. All I did was take this and flip it. See, the B is backwards? This angle, okay. Can you not? No. You can't. You have to flip it. Okay. No, you don't. I'm not going to flip it. I'm going to show you how to copy it. I'll show you how to do it where you flip it. Guys, this isn't going to work. we have to make the triangle, I have to have this one. So, okay, you can't flip it. You don't have a smart board. So guess what? We're going to copy it.
You just go to the other intersection.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, I got it. I got how to do this. Yeah.
Okay. Now, we're in blue. Okay, you guys? Any opening you want? Oh, I want a little bigger than that. I think I want it bigger. Okay, guys? I have to measure that wide opening. Now, I'm going to keep this, now keeping the same setting, I'm going to put this on B, because that's B, and now I'm going to make that arc. But guess what? I don't want it to the right side. I want it to the left side. So imagine flipping that over, and I could do it. So I'm going to rotate this. I don't even want to see that side. I could do a full circle. Now, if you listen, call this letter Z. Letter Z is not to the right of B because I had to flip it. I had to reflect it. This is Z. And once you figure out where that is, then you're okay. Question? Might be on there. Yeah. I didn't hand these out. Sorry.
So then all you do next is
Now I'm going to measure that, but I'm going to measure it backwards. I mean, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to do it that way. Because it's reflected. This is part of geometry. The reflection piece. Uh-oh. Okay, so I'm going to get this where I want it. And let's measure this. So you're going to put your point here, and then you're going to put your other compass point on Z, maybe. Not quite there yet. But the problem is you want to put Z to the right because that's the way the angle's drawn, and that's why it gets confusing. So now you're going to put your compass point on Z, which is over here, not to the right of B because we had to do the reflection. I don't know if it's a big deal to worry about this. Now I'm looking for that intersection point of the two blue arcs, and there it is. Now I've got the obtuse. Now, I'm making a video. You can do this again. Now, are there other questions on yesterday's packet? We can do some of
How
those.
are you able to line that up? Because I have my compass point set to the arc I drew.
Then you have to hold it steady,
Mine was a little off.
and then you have to go to the Z point. Yeah, you might be a little off. There's room for error.
Did I do it right? So
Yeah.
I just went there.
Yeah, yeah. And it may not look like it's right, and we can check it. Shall we check it? I want to see how good that is. You got to not talk and listen. I can do it again, but I think there may be some other questions. Now, you should be okay with some of these. So, and I think the review is harder than the regular assignment.
For the how to construct a right triangle.
We can do that again. The request is for a right triangle. Now, I want to take this here and see how well I did that, by the way. See how it's reflected? The B is backwards. Ooh, I did a really nice job. Look at that. It's the same, isn't it? It is the same. But the problem is, this is wrong. Your Z is to the right here, but when I flip it, the Z becomes over here. Okay. Yeah. Probably only on obtuse. So we probably wouldn't give, I think it'd be an R4. It's hard. I had to think hard to do it. Okay, the request was to do this one again. Now, what you can do is you go home and see if you can do it again. Okay. Now, not to worry about it. You can try it. You can try it at home using the video. Okay. And you pause it. When you get stuck, you pause it. Now, I want angle C to be a right angle. I am not going to start at that end point there. I'm going to start at a point somewhere. I don't care where. This is where I'm going to put my right angle, at C. I want this to be a right triangle. This is off of yesterday's notes. The request was to do it again.
Is this our homework?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. But are these all supposed to be right angles?
No,
I think that.
no, we're not doing that. We're doing this problem, which is yesterday's.
But this is on our homework.
This is not the review sheet. This is not what you are looking at. This is out of yesterday's lesson. I'm repeating. Okay, TJ. Now, the only way to get a perpendicular is to create a perpendicular bisector.
Oh, I actually.
So, I'm going to create a segment. Cannot do a perpendicular without bisector without a segment. I have a line, so that's not going to work. So we're going to drag this, and we're going to create a segment. And I want this to be the midpoint. So if I go all the way around here, will those two segments be congruent?
Wait, how do you get that?
I put the point down C. I put it anywhere I want. If I put it, if I put C over here, then I have to extend my line. I was lazy.
No, I mean, like, is it supposed to be like, pick a point on the line?
Yeah, any point. God, I always have a point to start with. Now, you guys, are these lengths equal? Yes. Okay. W and X, whatever. Name it whatever you want. Who cares? Okay, ready? Colin. Current. Okay, close. Now, I need to get another point that is the same distance from C. So all I'm going to do is take my compass point. I can't make it here because that's halfway. I got to go bigger than halfway. And then I'm going to rotate this up. It's just like a perpendicular bisector. And make this. And then I'm going to come over here to X and do the same thing with the same compass setting. I don't have to flip it. I can just rotate it around. I bisected, I'm doing a perpendicular bisector for the segment WX. If I now draw from C to that intersection point, I have a perpendicular bisector of CX, but I don't really care about the bisecting part, but what I do care about is that that's a right angle. So now I have an angle. So I have this, and I have that. Okay? Now I just need the lengths. Now, do you want to put A on this line, or do you want to put B? It doesn't make any difference. B. Okay. So I'm going to be a little bit upside down. I'm always a little upside down because I don't think I'm too close to the top of the board, I think. So I put the compass point on either one. It doesn't matter. And measure the length of BC. Once you get this, once you get the perpendicular, you're okay. And I'll mark that. And now I'm going to take this down here. I might as well stay upside down. And the length from B to C is the same as C to B. It doesn't matter. Let's label that point. If that's C, then this is B. Now I need to get C to A, so A has to be here someplace. Now I'm going to rotate and do this right. Whoops, maybe. And let's do, what color haven't we? Let's do blue. Kind of done blue, but anyway. It doesn't matter. Put the compass point on C or A, doesn't matter. Am I going to make it? Looks like I'm going to make it. There it is. Now I have to put the compass point on C. I don't have a choice. And I want to mark the length of this, but on that vertical piece. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Undo. There we go. I want to do this one. And guess what? It's not long enough, but I can fix that. I have a ruler, or you have a ruler. I don't have a ruler. But I can go back up here, and I can extend that. There it is. Oh, where is it? I want this piece. Sorry. I got it mixed up with the other thing. It is a big one, isn't it? There it is. I measured from B to C with the red, and I measured from C to B because it's the same, right? Perpendicular means it's a right angle. And there it is. So we can look at something off the worksheet too. Yeah. This is the length from A to C. I measured it with my compass. It's sideways. because I can just start here in C and go to A. So I measured this, yes. It's a different kind of unit. And the next one's going to have a lot of angles, conjectures, and stuff like that, and triangles. So you're going to have to learn those. And what we're also going to do for you guys is we're also going to create a packet because you guys are going to be taking the ACT someday. And we're going to create something for you to have, to hold on to for 2 years. But you know, you get your iPad, you can put it right on your iPad, call it your ACT folder, and then before you take the ACT exam, you can go back and study the theorems. So I'm going to do the work to find out what theorems are on the ACT, and we're going to prepare for that a little bit. I just measured from A to C. Now I'm going to measure vertically on this segment. You don't like that, but that's okay. And so I have to rotate this and put this down on C, and this is still the length from A to C. And there it is. I'm a little off. Maybe I was a little bit too big there on the first try. How about some other ones? The other class, I had a question on number 4 on this.
Oh, I've got a question on number 2.
Sure.
How would you get half?
Well, I want you to think. Is that this one? There it is. What's the plan here? I want half of AD. So here's my full length. Where would half be? It would be on the perpendicular bisector. We have to do a perpendicular bisector. So I'm going to erase my little lines, and let's do it. Different lesson than the other class. Oh, I don't want that. I want this. I got to grab this guy. Okay, how do you find a perpendicular bisector? This is the thinking part. So you put your compass point on A or D. You're going to have to do both. And I don't care how big it is, but go more than halfway. Because if you don't do it, why? If you don't do it at least halfway, are they going to intersect? Nope. So you go above and you go below. And guess what? Keeping the same compass setting, we're going to go over to D. Either I can rotate it or I can flip it. Seriously, you're probably going to flip it in your hands.
Is this by chance that the actual AB and the above that?
Same compass setting, though. Don't change it. And then straight? No, I can move it.
Is that just by a chance though?
By what chance? No, it's a construction.
No, this. If this AB, so I use this AB at first.
That was by chance. Won't count, won't get you any points. You have to do a perpendicular bisector. So now this is B, and AB, that's this length, is half of AD. This is what we do in geometry. Look at spatial relationships. For some of you, that's going to be hard. For the artists in here, you're going to love it, I think. How about number 4? Oh, this is copying an angle. But we can. It's the same as what we've just been doing. Yeah, put it right there. Are you okay with 4? What's that for? Oh. Number 4, should we try it? Okay, you can rotate your paper. I can rotate my triangle. Could be. Nobody's asked me number 9. I have done this packet. I don't know what I do with my answers. No? From. Yeah, from. Construct a 45-degree angle from a right angle. Okay, football people, what's a lateral pass? No, it's not. It's a forward pass. What's a lateral? To the side. Or you can do backwards, but it won't be technical. So equilateral is equal sides. Lateral. You can take biology, and you will. That lateral is the Latin word for side. So it means all sides are equal. Okay, I want the perpendicular bisector. Now, you got to read it. Construct a perpendicular bisector. Forget the name of it. I want the perpendicular bisector of IK. I want this. Now, do you want to rotate this? Or do you want to work with it as it's oriented right now? Because you can rotate your paper.
Yeah, I know. Let's just do it.
Okay, we'll just do it. Where's my compass? There it is. I do it all the time and just so frustrated. Because when they first came out with the smart boards, it didn't do that. Okay, so put your compass point on K or I, doesn't matter, and make sure that the opening is more than halfway. That's more than halfway, isn't it? Let's make sure. And then draw your little arcs. I have to do a perpendicular bisector. Now I'm going to take my compass point, but I'm going to reflect it first, keeping the same setting, and then put it over on I. And then I'm going to do the same thing. There you go. And then draw the segment. I'm going to change mine to a different color. What color would you like? Blue? We already got blue. But I can. Purple? There. Now we should name it. It's LM. It says M is the midpoint of IK. So that's M. And I can name any point on here. L. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's why it was so important to learn how to name segments in the beginning. Yes. Yep. Ready to go back? We'll do one. I want to construct A to C. So do you want to do it? How do you find, this is the segment addition. If I take AB and I add it to BC, what does that give me? It gives me AC. Can I move it? No, it's locked together. Okay. What do you want to draw? AB first or BC? AB. I was thinking I wanted to do AB also first. Okay. Where's my little compass? Can I just add a new one? I can. Oh. Okay, we're going to do AB. Now I have to turn mine upside down because my compass doesn't fit. So I'll put the point someplace and on B and put the pencil over here on A. Whoops. That looks good. Mark it. Notice how big my marks are? Mark it. Okay, I'm going to keep this upside down. And I'll put B here. I can put it anywhere I want. It doesn't matter. And now let's mark that. What letter is that over here? A. So now I've got AB. And now I want A to C. Oh. Is AB the same as BA? Yeah, doesn't matter. So AB, oh, and now I think I can do this right. Okay, I want to get BC, so I might have enough room, let's see. I do. And we want to get BC, and I want to change colors, so I'll go green because that's easy. Now, I put the compass point on B, because I want the same thing, and I'm going to mark it over here. And I just barely got it to fit. If I didn't get it to fit, I would extend the line further. And it's kind of nice to at least show me what this is. I can see, notice it's labeled. That was the other thing on the papers. And I don't know about your class, but the other class, they didn't label them. I'm going, well, what's what? I don't know what anything is. So label them. Well, that's the whole first side. How about the back side? Oh, I found out they couldn't do angle bisectors either. I did everything but duplicate the angle. So tomorrow, if you don't have a compass, we can finish these in class. And tomorrow we're going to go on and do the angle stuff. And it's going to be more algebraic. Yeah. But I do want to do an angle bisector because looking through the quizzes, I could see we didn't have angle bisectors either. Okay, ready? Not time to go. We get out of here at 11:05, but I let you out at 11:03. So Let's do an angle bisector. Ready? Now, I'm going to color this. Construct an angle bisector in, any angle, ST, not just any. Where's my vertex? What angle do I want to bisect? I want to bisect angle S. Okay, you guys see it? Okay, so it's going to be, okay guys, it's going to look like this. That's what I want. No, that's not what we're going to do. We are going to do this correctly. We are going to use our compass. That's what we've been doing. So you take your compass and you put it at vertex S. Put the point there and make an arc. I don't care how big it is, but if it's too small, it's hard to work with, so that the arc will intersect both SR and SQ. Now, we're not copying the angle, so the next step's a little different. You ready? I'm going to move my compass point to this intersection point. And you know what? I'm even going to open my compass up a little bit bigger. I could leave it the same, but I want to open it a little bigger just to make sure it'll intersect. I'm going to do this arc, and then I'm going to come over here and flip it. I don't even have to flip it. I can do this. Oops. Yeah, these arcs have not the same as the original one, but these arcs have to be the same, and I didn't make this big enough. There it is. So this length here, from here to here, get that out of the way. This length from here to here is equal to that length from there to there. Those triangles are equal, which means that this angle here is equal to that angle there. The compass setting you put on A and B has to be the same, but not the same as S. It can be the same as S. It doesn't have to be. So I found out that the first art class, and most likely you guys don't either, don't know how to bisect an angle. I'll find out when I look at them. Now, so we get out of here on time.